This is Common Courtesy with Sean Nicholas. So are you saying like one of those adults could be a doll?
Yeah, dog would be.
But that
No, come on. So
Nikki Prue.
You sound like you're at least in your 20s. So my advice would be like, go get an apartment and maybe test out some dating sites because I don't.
Courtney Harbaugh.
Okay, well, first of all, was it a suspect or was it his significant other? That's an honest question then.
Angelique Young.
Run the risk of getting a fine, or you run the risk of potentially going to jail for coming here. It doesn't mean you can't stay home and do it. How many people?
No, that's wrong.
Ivan Alexander.
I mean, the video could have been done a little differently. I mean, I just think, again, to me, it's extreme, but that's just my opinion. So I'm going back to my wine. We're good.
And Dr. Christina Palin.
Look who he was for Trump, and look at how he's getting nothing from that circle, right? And even
I'm so excited. We have a full cast again. Yay!
Yay!
Everybody's all here. I'm so
Happy Pride. We invite Orlando performer Crystal Vahzz to the panel. She hits the Hot Topics panel with Dear Abby and the battle over the restrictive Texas voting bill. After that, we all react to the plight of young Chad Sanford. Here we go. Sit back and enjoy the conversation. Hey guys, and welcome back to Common Courtesy. I'm your host and moderator, Sean Nicholas. Happy Pride. Yes, I'm so excited. We're almost open back to full capacity, to normalcy. And, I can't wait for St. Pete Pride at the end of the month. Here with me on the panel tonight, we have Dr. Palin.
Hi.
Hey, Doctor. Hi, how are you tonight?
Good. Nice
Uh-oh.
to be back after a week off.
I'm glad to have you back. You just froze a little bit, but it'll probably correct itself in the while we do the broadcast. On the bottom of us is our special guest co-host, Orlando performer Crystal Vahzz. How are you tonight?
Hi. I'm doing fabulous. How is everybody else doing tonight?
I am well. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to have you here. I see that you're, constantly out there performing in Orlando. We've met online because I saw you. You posted on one of our videos about, we were talking the trans sports bill with girls and things like that. And so I saw that. Oh, thank you, Monique. Happy Pride. You were talking about that, and I just wanted to have you on the show to have you chime in on some hot topics. But since we don't know each other well, and maybe the audience don't know you as well as we don't know. Can you give us a small little backstory and how you got into performing in Orlando?
Oh, good Lord. Well, shoot. Let's go back before the internet. And back when I first started performing, we actually had to use these things called cassettes.
Oh, my.
But yeah, I started back in the 90s, performing at places like the Parliament House, which people all know. Southern Nights, which I still currently perform at. I don't know. It started as I was a DJ at my college, and they were doing a Christmas show, and I thought I wanted to do Madonna Santa Baby. So I got one of those Party City wigs, balloon tits, and my stepmom was so nice enough to let me borrow one of her dresses and her makeup, and it took off from there. And 30 years later, I'm dating myself. Here I am. And
here you are. Yeah, you're lovely. You're gorgeous. I love this photo of you that we have for the promo poster. Like, I don't know. Like, you just look great and gorgeous. Like, I'm so happy that you're here.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So just to get things started, we always like to start with the little, viral video of the week. Yeah. I like to sift through the internet, watch a little, Instagram, scroll through, and find a little something that's going to tickle our fancy. And let me just say this about this video. It's really going to make you laugh. Here we go.
God.
That had to be in Florida. I'll start with that. That's definitely Florida.
Absolutely. Like, Crystal, we're gonna go you first because, like, literally, I was thinking, was this weekend? At the Memorial Day like holiday celebration? Because I just saw that and I showed it to my mother. And she just loved it. Like,
it wouldn't surprise me. It definitely would not surprise me. But yeah,
Oh
either Memorial Day or spring break. But you would see stuff like that, or even worse, over here in Daytona, or I don't know how Tampa is, but definitely in Daytona.
well, I saw, what happened when I guess the Super Bowl happened around here. It was a little crazy, but I don't think I would get on that car, on the windshield like that, try to kill myself. Dr. Palin, let me go to you. How did you react seeing that?
I mean, the first thing that I think of is how does someone capture that moment? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh my God. I mean, she's gonna fall in there, but just someone must have been watching her for a while.
I have no idea. I thought the same thing. Like, how the fuck?
Yeah, I'm a big girl, and I would know better than to step on a windshield.
Right?
I knew a guy that happened. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't want to see those photos that make me barf, Monique. But no, you know what? Like, I work in a bar myself, and I just see some of the craziest shit. And I don't know what possesses people to do things that are death defying. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a psychic. I'm not saying I can see the future, but I just saw when she was walking up there, I knew it was going to happen. I just had to tickle myself. I'm a little evil. Anyway, so let's move on. The first topic I wanted to cover with you guys was this Texas bill that is being blocked by state Democrat lawmakers. I guess the story was what happened was they were doing this, they were in a session that was ending this weekend, I think Sunday around 12 a.m. And the Dems walked out of the chambers, not giving them the quorum they needed to pass one of the most restrictive voting bills that I've ever heard of. But here's a little news clip it. Let's get on track.
Massive legislation bans drive-through voting, restricts mail-in ballots, adding a new ID requirement, and pushes back early voting hours on Sunday when many black churchgoers vote. The bill also makes it easier for a judge to overturn an election if there are allegations of fraud. Republicans in Texas insist it's about restoring confidence after the 2020 election. Now, GOP Governor Greg Abbott is threatening to not pay lawmakers, tweeting he'll veto funds for the legislative branch. No pay for those who abandon their responsibilities. Stay tuned.
Yeah, and I am staying tuned. And one of the things they did not mention in this new bill was voters, when you're requesting in that state an absentee ballot, you have to provide your driver's license or your social security number, both on the application and the envelope when you're returning your ballot. And I thought that was kind of crazy because I'm not putting my social anywhere, in public. But let me go to Crystal. Let me ask you, how did you feel? You sent this story to me. Do you think that the Dems have a chance of blocking this bill?
We need to. Period. End result, we need to. I mean, nobody thought that we would, kick Trump out of office last year, and thank God we did. And I'm hoping that the Dems stay strong and keep fighting because there's just way too much BS. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here. That's going on right now, and this is definitely one of them. It's also prohibiting drop-off boxes and drive-through voting, which was very instrumental in the election last year because of COVID. And I mean, what if you had people like that who still don't want to go into the lines or the polls? They won't have that drop-off box or drive-through voting poll. It's just ridiculous what they're trying to do.
Absolutely. Dr. Palin, let me go to you and your reaction.
So the first thing that my gut reaction when I saw this was, why don't we have Dems with that kind of guts in Florida? Like,
oh, hello.
What's the deal? Like, I feel like, all of our legislators, like I thought it was such a brilliant idea, to pull the rug right underneath from them. And it was just phenomenal that they thought of that. I mean, I never even, those are the kind of things that you expect that they do those kind of things because of what they've been doing. I mean, they're running with this stupid election fraud and this and that, since January. And you would think that even like Florida Democrats would have done that in our legislative session. I mean, in this legislative session in Florida, we also had a bill passed. I mean, it was the rioting bill. I would have done that with them. They passed a supposedly, anti-rioting bill where he's going to arrest anyone and then just everyone. That was Governor DeSantis's bill. I mean, I don't understand why they couldn't do that with all kinds of restrictive voting bills that passed in Florida this legislative session. So, but I loved it. I thought that was like, they really deserve it and more. They deserve worse for trying to restrict people's voting rights.
I just wanted to read this comment. She says, Monique D says, I'm just tired of Republicans passing these fuck you laws and getting away with it. Well, Monique, they haven't repassed this law. They're proposing it. And she says also, Florida Democrats haven't accomplished a goddamn thing in 20 years. Wow, she's very passionate about this topic. I wanted to throw in as well, like, this is all based on a lie. It even says, Texas even said they did not have massive voter fraud where they need these laws. And it's obviously directed at, not having people to vote. I mean, the Sunday thing, because I know my family is very religious, and with voting, people don't remember that back in the 60s in the civil rights movement, the church was the safest place for African Americans because that's where they congregated together and, were safe from the backlash from, certain white nationalists and supremacists. So, and voting together, they have poll watchers, people, making sure that there's nothing happening. But I feel like that's kind of voter suppression as well. There's also a law for poll watchers that if a poll worker interferes with a poll watcher, there's like criminal penalties for that. I don't understand why Republicans have to like go through all the rigmarole to have certain people not vote. This is exactly, I'm going to say this shit. This is exactly what they want. They want certain people not to vote because last time they made it so easy for everyone to vote, thinking that President Trump was going to win. But I don't know why, because he has passed a limit. He passed a moral limit with a lot of people, especially with the people of color community, not just the African American community, not just the Mexican or whatever, but also the LGBTQ plus community. He's crossed the line, so they definitely wasn't going to vote for them. So for them to do this to these people in this state, it's just, let's just be honest. Let's call a cat a cat. Let's call a cow, and just say that you don't want certain people voting. That's why you're making it harder. Are you kidding me? I wish they had drive-through voting here, because sometimes it's fucking hot in Florida. It is.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, I got in the car the other day. I couldn't breathe, bitch. I was like, oh my God. And I have asthma. So like, I shouldn't be smoking weed, but
No, I think what happened is, not to cut you off, but the past 4 years allowed those white supremacists and, those right-wing terrorists, I'll call them, to be able to say it's okay to be that. And now that they lost that feeling that it's okay because of the new administration, they're fighting tooth and nail to get back that feeling that it's okay for me to be a little racist and everything. No, it's not okay. We have the power now. We're gonna try and keep the power no matter how much they fight.
Absolutely. And not only racist, but transphobic. And we're going to get into the next topic, unless Dr. Palin, you have, I want to answer what Monique just said, but Dr. Palin, do you have anything else to add to this?
I mean, my thing too, what Crystal was saying, I mean, we're, in the United States, yes. I mean, as in federal government, we have Biden is in control, but Florida is still a big problem. And, it's just, it's all Republicans, and they're all very radical, and they're all trying to get brownie points from the one that took up residence in West Palm Beach, ever since, supposedly the election was stolen from him. So, we have a big problem in Florida, and it's not going to governor that's Republican, Senate that's Republican majority, and House that's Republican majority. So until we flip that, I always say this every time, we need to get in more like moderate, in the middle, independent kind of, Democrats and Republican like kind of mixture, so that we can kind of, change that wave, that red wave.
It's funny. I wanted to say it's funny to use that word radical Republican, because even some Republicans like Liz Cheney are saying there's two different kinds of Republicans right now.
Right.
There's the radical Republicans, and then there's the rational Republicans. And I'm hoping a lot more rational Republicans come to the table and show that they are as well. They are disgusted just as much as we are by what people like in Texas are doing.
But they're not. They're not, because let's think about what happened in Florida with what was it? George Bush and Al Gore. I was like, wait, hold on, this recount shit, because I remember that. I felt like, Al Gore won, but then the recount, because his brother Jeb Bush was the governor. I thought that was kind of like, why do you have to cheat? And then you have the president. The former president, Donald Trump, he's promoting this big lie. Why can't you just lose like everyone else? Like, why can't you just lose? Like, I don't like losing either. I'll be honest. I don't like losing in anything.
He's a bully. He's a bully. That's why he bullies people. That's why.
Well, bully me, bitch. But like, I'm saying this, bully me, Donald Trump, because I'm like, why can't you just lose like Hillary Clinton? When they found her when she lost, she was like walking in the forest like any rational human being, because it's like, damn, I lost this. I put myself out there on a national platform. I lost, I will be out there too. Shit, I'll be like on a canoe. I would probably go skydiving. I don't like the heights, I have a controlling personality a little bit, and I don't like heights. But I would do something that's like, freeing. I just don't understand this. He should just bow out, and he should come to the table, because they also, Republicans said that this was to bolster confidence in our elections. But I think this is only bolstering voter.
The opposite. It's going to do that.
Yes, it's exactly doing the opposite. I agree.
And I just want to read.
I was just going to say, 45 can't even bow out graciously. I mean, he's the first former president who did not welcome the next one into the White House.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
How is that okay?
Even Obama welcomed Trump into the White House. Right. It's like, be a man, be a grown up.
Even after he said he wasn't a legitimate American, like, come on. I'm over the fanatics. So you know what? I'm a New Yorker through and through. I was born and raised in Florida, but I lived in New York for like almost 10 years. And the one thing I love about New York is bitches are real. And you have to get real quick. And the lies that Trump has said to people, I'm surprised he's getting over people, because I already know who Trump is. He's I know he's a germaphobe, so I don't know why he's letting these okay, I'm done.
We'll go on for 3 hours.
All right, so let's move on, because I saw this video of this young LGBT youth being attacked in a viral video in the middle of Florida middle school. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I'm born and raised in Florida. I know this shit happens here. Here's a little news clipping and the viral video of what happened to young Chad Sanford.
Slammed to the floor, kicked, punched, spat on, berated with homophobic slurs.
They were screaming. They were saying, we got that gay shit.
What happened to 13-year-old Chad Sanford Friday at Deerfield Beach Middle School is now under investigation by the district and BSO. The win, advocates say, is this incident was caught on camera.
We know that over a quarter of LGBTQ students are experiencing physical harassment. We know that most LGBTQ students who experience harassment are not reporting.
So that was Walter Rucker with that organization. But honestly, I just kind of want to go to the panel, because I have said this on the show. I have experienced, bullying, and I know how it is. I'm going to go to you, Crystal, again, to see how you felt when you saw this footage.
I will say, basically, yes, it's sad that it happened to an LGBTQ youth, but it shouldn't happen to any youth. The fact that it still happens in school, and it's worse today than it was when I went. I mean, I was in high school back in the 80s, and I didn't come out until the 90s, until I was in college. because back then being gay wasn't as supported as it is these days, but we weren't berated or pushed like that, because if we were, we got our asses whooped. You know, kids these days get away with way too much. They get away with a lot more than we ever did. And it's really sad that stuff like this happens. I just hope that we can continue to look into this story and find out what actually happened to those students that attacked that poor kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Palin, let me go to you.
I mean, I think that, to me, it's reached a boiling point, and I think that the local district attorney should really prosecute these kids. And even if they're juveniles, I mean, we see all the time in East Tampa, they prosecute young Black men over nothing. I mean, this is caught on video, and I think that in order as a deterrent, you know how they say you need to make an example? I think that an example needs to be made here.
Mm-hmm.
And, this coming off the heels that in Florida and all across the country where they're making laws. I think Florida, you just sent this to me, Crystal, before the show, that they're banning trans girls. Because this is a trans girl, a lot of the reportings that I saw, they called Chad. I don't think Chad's found out her real name yet, but they said that she was a gay girl, gay boy. But for me, I thought, she had the nails, whatever. I thought she's transgendered. But even so, I feel like this transgender bill that I think it's HB 1475 in Florida that Governor DeSantis just wrote in, it kind of gives allowance. It gives allowance for this type of behavior because you know what? I grew up in a community like that. In my middle school, I was bullied like that. I didn't get attacked and slammed on the floor because that's brutal. I don't know if I could have got my ass up because I'd have been out. But not to be funny, but really. But seeing that reminds me of me growing up. And the one thing I want to tell this woman, this young girl, is to learn self-defense. Because when I was 13, I had been doing karate since I was 8. And I remember one time I was in the hallway after leaving lunch. I was with my friend Jason Wheeler, and this guy had shoved me in the back, and he kept saying, "Move, faggot, move." And I turned to him and I said, "Oh, this is not the first time I've been called faggot. I got tons of story, but this is a good one." I turned to him and I said, "If you push me again, that'll be the last thing that you'll do." So I turn around and me and Jason we're walking, and it's a big crowd. Like everyone, it's a school that had too many students. So everyone's pushing, and he shoved me again. I turned around, I blacked out on that. I turned around, I blacked out on that bitch, and I fucked him up. So what I'm telling to young Chad Sanford is to learn self-defense, because this is not going to be the first attack, and it's not going to be the last. Because she says it in multiple interviews. This young man embarrassed her in class, said, "I'm going to knock the gay out of you," and threatened this person. And you know what? The school allowed that. They're allowing this to happen because no one's stepping in saying that type of hate is not right. And then to say, the one thing that hurts me is they're young Black men. And right now we're talking about, the Black Lives Matter movement. We're talking about George Floyd, but we're seeing this, and this is nothing but hate. So they're talking about being hated, but they're hating people in their own community. And it's fucked up. And honestly, it happened to me as well. So I had to talk about this story. Anyone else want to say anything before we move on to Dear Abby?
In college, we had a LGBT group that met like once a month, and we did outings and everything, and it was a support group. And I wish more schools these days had that, because we're getting younger and younger LGBTQ youth coming out, but also getting attacked. Suicide rate is up through the roof. If we had more groups that would support these kids and let them know they're not alone. That was the hardest thing about me growing up gay, is thinking I'm alone. It's like, why do I have these feelings? Does anybody else have that? And I didn't realize that until college, that I was not, alone. So I just wish schools had groups to where they can go for support and build confidence.
Okay, so we're gonna move to the next topic in just a second. But Dr. Palin, do you have anything else to say about this as well?
No, I think we covered it.
All right, cool beans. But you know what? I will say this, that schools have to start doing more to protect youth like that, especially for if you know someone's being marginalized, step in and do something about it because it shouldn't happen to anybody. I agree with you, Crystal, anybody. And I just want to read this last comment from Jess. She says, every LBGTQ plus person walking this country needs to know how to be able to defend themselves, kids to adults in some way. And yeah, I agree with that because I'm not gonna lie. I was at Furries. I just popped some guy in his fucking nose because he called me a four-eyed faggot. I had to hear him say it again because he didn't know that I know how to defend myself. Anyways, moving on. And that's the reality. I do these stories because I do these stories, but that's the reality of it. Like I want people to come to Florida and open their eyes and know that these people are out there and they will attack you and they will do that. Learn to defend yourself and whoop some ass. Become Buffy like I did. So the last topic is this Dear Abby that I found. I know I love Dear Abby. Like, no, this is hilarious. But we got one
you
more
and
comment.
your Dear Abby's is so funny.
Well, you'll love this one.
Okay.
So all right, so this story starts out like this. Dear Abby, 10 years ago, one of my oldest and dearest friends, Wanda, got a divorce. Her husband, Tex, cheated on her and left her. Tex happens to be my husband's oldest and dearest friend. We met at their wedding. Tex is now being remarried to the woman he cheated on my friend with. And my husband and I are invited to the wedding. Wanda says I cannot go to the wedding, and she would never do this to me if the situation were reversed. She is extremely still angry at her ex. My husband wants to go, and he wants me there with him. It is out of state. He says we are a package deal. I am now stuck in the middle. Do I end a 37-year friendship and go to the wedding? Or do I disappoint my husband? He has been there for me and goes to all of my events with my friends. Torn in New York. So I'm going to go to Dr. Palin. Dr. Palin, what would you say to her?
I would not go to the wedding. I would
really?
No, I would not throw away 37-year friendship. I think that's, that's a very, sensitive issue. I mean, what is happening is obviously, an ex getting married. I just would not do it.
You wouldn't do it? Okay, so let me go to Crystal, let me go to you. How do you feel?
I would go and drink every single drink in that open bar and eat all the food I can. Well, first, Torn isn't the one that's throwing away the 37-year friendship. It's her friend. She's the one she's the one putting that stipulation on there. And she has to understand that Torn has a responsibility or a commitment to her husband. And it's her husband's friend who's getting married, not Torn's. I mean, I wouldn't feel guilty, but I would just say, don't worry, honey, I'm going to drink that bar dry and I'm going to eat that buffet, every drop or every bite. That'll raise that bill a little higher for that cheating asshole.
I just want to read Jess's comment. Jess says, tell her to mind her own damn business. If that's going to end the friendship, then it wasn't a very real one to start with. Hello, because this is what I say, Dr. Palin. I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you on this one. Because honestly, I've been there. I've had some friends, fall in love and shit like that, or ex-boyfriends get married. And if I get invited to the wedding, I'm not going to be that type of person to bring up old shit. I should have been moving on. And I've said this in the video before, sucking some new dick, minding my business. Really? Because, I agree with.
It sounds like though there's not that long of a period. It sounds like he just left her, then he went and married her.
She said 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, she froze. Hold on. Wait. 10 years ago, Dr. Palin.
Wait. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, then maybe I missed that part. Oh, then no. If the time period was 10 years from the time that he left her to the time is that?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, then I retract. No, that's, that was like, for some reason, I must have blanked out on that one. Because
I was going to say.
It just happened. I'm thinking like it just happened and they're just getting, right away, going off, getting married like that. So that's what I thought.
I'd be in your corner then, Dr. Palin. If it was like 10 months, I'd be like, oh, hell no, you ain't going. But 10 years, and if her friend hasn't found a new guy in 10 years, there's a problem there.
Right. I totally agree. No, that's my bad. Yeah, that's way too long.
I agree with Jess too. That's a long time because I'm petty. Like, I'll tell you, my petty runs deep. Like, literally, if it's your birthday, I'm not gonna fucking send you like, oh, happy birthday. Fuck out of here. You broke my heart. No, but like, it's just, I don't know. That's a long time. And you guys should have become friends because it tells me that maybe the relationship wasn't great. But you're not a great friend because like Crystal said, you know that party gonna be popping, bitch. Ow, everybody gonna be there dancing, shaking their groove thing, and there's gonna be an open bar. And you know I'm gonna get turned up. I'm like, y'all got fireball? Y'all got fireball? And you know I'm gonna cut it open. And they're gonna have a DJ, you know, they're gonna play all the jams. And her best friend, Wanda, is holding her back. She's not a good friend. Fuck this hoe. You know what? She's probably that friend. She's that friend that'd be like this, oh, that outfit you don't look good in and shit like that. Fuck out of here, Wanda. Torn in New York.
It's always me. You know, the friend that's always me.
Exactly.
It was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
That's a big difference.
Shit, I'm going to the wedding. Torn in New York, go to the wedding. We all think you should go to the wedding. Right. Get loose. And you know what? But the one thing I love, that her husband, right, is also her husband's best friend. You're getting in the middle of her marriage. And the husband said, and the one thing I love about this, the husband's like, we are a package deal. Yes, we are. We are. Right. Where he goes, I go. And he loves her. So fuck out of here. So Torn in New York.
10 years. If you can't get over someone in 10 years, what's wrong with you?
She's doing the 10 years.
All right, guys. So we ran out of time. Thank you guys so much for joining us and viewing in. Thank you, Crystal Vahzz, for joining us in our panel. We have to have you back. We have to have you back. Please, because I love you. We're going to play a little outro and we're going to say goodnight. We're going to say goodnight, guys. Bye, guys. Stay in the backstage. We'll see you later.